Loudest sounds ever heard. Okay, guys, think for a moment about how loud the loudest sound that you have ever heard in your life was. If you can hear this video clearly now without any strain after experiencing an incident like that, then it was nowhere near the loudest sound that has ever happened. Humans at various points in history have heard a sound so loud from a particular space or source that they heard it from thousands of kilometers away from its actual location. So, how is this possible? How does it occur? Let's quickly explain how sound is measured in terms of loudness. First, all you need to know about really is the amplitude of the wave, because it's the amplitude that determines how loud a sound appears to be to humans. The decibel scale is what is used to measure the loudness of a sound. And it's important to note that the scale is easy to understand. This means that 10 decibels are 10 times more powerful than 0 decibels. And 20 decibels is 10 times more powerful than 10 decibels, but 100 times more powerful than 0 decibels. With all of that in mind, let's start building our way up to the loudest sounds man has ever heard. Now note that 30 decibel is a whisper, which means your friend screaming right into your ear doesn't count near the sounds we're talking about. From volcanic eruptions to meteor impacts, these are some of the loudest sounds ever heard by man. Volcano eruption, unknown decibels. The first on our list is intense. The loudest sound ever historically recorded is the Krakatoa volcano, the top spot on this list of top 10 loudest sounds on Earth. And it goes to a natural event that occurred on August 27, 1883 at 10:02 a.m. The Krakatoa volcano erupted, creating the loudest sound ever heard by man. The volcano, which is located between Java and Sumatra in Indonesia, erupted without warning. It spewed volcanic debris at a rate of 1,600 miles per hour. The smoke from the eruption reached heights of 17 miles high, and the volcano caused a deadly tsunami that destroyed everything in its path. The eruption also caused an earth-shattering, record-breaking sound that was literally heard all around the world. The sound from the explosion was so loud that it was recorded in 50 separate geographical locations, including Western Australia at 2,000 miles away and Mauritius at 3,000 miles away. In fact, the sound from the volcano's eruption was heard on a recorded 113th of the Earth's total surface. A British ship called the Noor-Am Castle was only 40 miles from Krakatoa when it erupted. The captain reported that the noise from the volcano was so loud that it shattered the eardrums of more than half of the men aboard. So exactly how loud was the volcano? The sound that was officially recorded was 180 decibels, but that sound was recorded from a source that was 100 miles away. So scientists can only speculate as to what the actual decibel count was on the site. The massive volcanic explosion of the Krakatoa volcano remains the loudest sound ever officially recorded in history. Meteor impact, 300 decibels. The Tunguska meteor on June 30th, 1908. The Tunguska meteor came barreling into Earth's atmosphere, and it brought an earth-shattering sound with it. The sound created by the meteor was actually the sound of an explosion, as the meteor burst and disintegrated in the air. It's believed that the explosion occurred at about an altitude of 6 miles, so the meteor never actually crashed into the ground. But the explosion itself was so massive, it managed to cause mass destruction to the ground. The explosion took place over in Cusco River in Russia and has been called the most destructive impact event in history. The meteor explosion completely flattened 770 square miles of forest and decimated over 80 million trees. In the process, the explosion also took the lives of 3 people and numerous wildlife. And although the sound of the explosion was not officially recorded, experts believe that the explosion would have generated a sound of more than 300 decibels. Blue whale, 188 decibels. The loudest animal in the world is the blue whale. The blue whale is not only the largest animal on Earth, but it also makes the loudest sound. In fact, the call of a blue whale is one of the loudest sounds on Earth. The call of the blue whale can reach decibels of 188. And to understand just how loud that is, the human voice can only reach 70 decibels, and a jet can only reach 140 decibels. Anything with a sound of more than 120 decibels is painful to the human ear. So the call of the blue whale could severely injure a person's eardrums. Earthquake. Japan's 9.0 caught on audio an earthquake of 5.0 of the Richter scale. At its epicenter, it would register 210 decibels, but the epicenter of an earthquake is not generally recorded. However, in March 2011, a team of scientists from the Marine Environmental Laboratory and Oregon State University managed to record the underwater rumble of a 9.0 magnitude earthquake. The earthquake happened underwater near Japan, and the scientists were able to record the underwater sound using microphones they often record underwater volcanoes and earthquakes with. But this was the loudest one they had ever recorded. The massive rumbling caught on audio can only be described as unnerving, as the recording took place miles away from the earthquake's epicenter. The recording is one of the loudest sounds ever caught on audio. Fireworks, 150 to 170 decibels. Fireworks are a source of amazement for many, as they explode in brilliant colors and light up the sky. But with their explosion comes a very loud sound. And anyone that has seen fireworks explode firsthand has surely heard their boom sound effect. But just how loud are fireworks? Well, some are much louder than the other. Fireworks can generate sounds as high as 150 to 175 decibels. But on January 1st, 2018, when the world's largest aerial fireworks shell took to the sky over the Al Marjan Island in the United Arab Emirates, it created one of the loudest fireworks sounds ever heard. The firework was manufactured by Grucci Fireworks and was granted the Guinness World Record for the world's largest fireworks shell. The shells ascended for 13 seconds before it reached its peak height of 3,700 feet, where it then exploded. And although the sound was not officially recorded, the decibels generated by this massive firework could clearly rival any firework previously recorded. Speaker, 165 decibels. The WAS 3000 speaker, known to be the loudest speaker in the world, was created by Wild Laboratories. This speaker is capable of producing 165 decibels of sound. Now, the human eardrum will instantly rupture at 160 decibels of sound, so this speaker is capable of actually rupturing eardrums. The speaker has an output of 30,000 watts, and it utilizes a technique called airstream modulation. This technique allows it to push out nitrogen and then compress the air out through tiny holes in the system. The speaker has a number of practical uses. It can be used in large noisy places like airports, and it can also be used by the military for training purposes. Because it's so loud, it can simulate the noise found on battlefields. Quite interesting, right? Just before we go on with the list, guys, here's a little reminder. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you won't miss out on any of our videos. Gun, 200 decibels. The 460 Weatherby Magnum 18-inch barrel gunshots are notoriously loud and usually require protective ear equipment to prevent hearing loss. The loudest modern gun is the 460 Weatherby Magnum. The gun was developed by Roy Weatherby in 1957. It was designed to hunt dangerous, thick-skinned animals along the African plains, making it such a very powerful rifle with an equally powerful sound. When the gun is fired, it can reach sounds of over 200 decibels, making the 460 Weatherby Magnum the loudest gun ever. A bomb, 210 decibels. When a bomb explodes, it creates an intense sound, but some bombs are much louder than others. So the question is, what's the loudest bomb on Earth? The answer to that is tough, but we have it. The loudest bomb on Earth is a 1-ton TNT bomb. But just how loud is this bomb? Well, if you were to be standing about 250 feet away from the explosion of this bomb, it would create a decibel level of 210. If you're not in a sound-resistant bunker with adequate hearing protection, the sound of this bomb would be so loud, it will make you go permanently deaf. And that is if you're lucky, because the vibrations from this sound would be so intense, it could potentially kill you. Rocket, 204 decibels. Well, this is not just any rocket. This is the loudest space shuttle launched. That is the Saturn V rocket. A rocket launch is one of the loudest sounds on Earth, so when NASA's Saturn V rocket launched, it achieved record-breaking decibels. The rocket's launch was registered on a decibel recording of 204. This is one of the loudest sounds ever officially recorded in the history of mankind. The massive launch was seen around the world, but luckily, those who saw the rocket launch in person were well equipped with protective auditory equipment. Otherwise, the sheer sound of this rocket launching would have caused irreversible ear damage. Now, which other sound do you know of to have groundbreaking decibels? Well, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for sticking till the end of the video. Be sure to drop a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you soon, everybody.